It was topiary in progress. Excuse me? Hello?
On your bike, darling. This is a private residence.
We're here to see Mr. Medowski.
So?
We have important business with Mr. Medowski.
And who the hell might you be?
I'm Nico Callar, and this is my colleague, Georges Stobart.
Well, isn't that cozy? Can you count, darling?
Yes, of course.
Well then, 1, I don't know you or laughing boy here from Adam. 2, you ain't got no business round here. And 3, I don't like French birds. Comprenez?
Hi, guess who?
What do you want?
Nice bush.
Bush? This is so much more than just a bush.
Oh, I am sorry.
It's art, love. Or to be precise, topiary. And as everybody knows...
Topiary is a transition form.
That's right. A statement of man's dominance over nature. A metaphor for the human condition.
And yet,
It's not enough, is it?
not for the big questions.
Life, death.
Right and wrong.
Tell me about it.
You struggle, monsieur?
Day and night.
That is the human condition.
Can we ever escape it?
It is possible through meditation, contemplation.
I see.
It is our only salvation.
Well, you've given me food for thought, you have.
Anytime.
Much appreciated. At a difficult time.
You are welcome, monsieur.
So, anyway, this is my latest piece. What do you think?
It's very nice. Eagle? A two-headed eagle.
Result. Get in there, my son. Yes, it's a Russian Imperial Eagle for the boss. You spotted it straight off. I owe you one, lady. You have got that rare quality. Real insight.
No, please. You have a rare talent. We have important business with Mr. Medowski.
I need a good reason to bother the boss with this. He's a busy man.
I understand, but I think he'll want to speak with us.
What makes what you have to say so important?
La Maledicció, a painting that belongs to him, has been stolen. If he wants his insurance claim processed quickly, then he'll want to speak with us. I think he might be annoyed if he finds out you never even told him we came around, right?
Okay, okay. Hang on, I'll phone him now. Yeah, Mr. Medowski?
Yeah, this one, the Medowskiego. Yeah, insurance. French bird.
Yeah. Yes, boss. Right, I will do. You've piqued the boss's interest. That isn't always a good thing. The gate should be open. I'll take you inside. Follow me, please. Mr. Medowski will be right with you, madame.
Well, we're in. Now what?
We'll make him think we're all set to pay out on the policy. See if we can get him to talk.
Welcome, welcome.
Good day, monsieur. My name is Nico Collard, and this is my assistant, Georges Tabar.
You are here to discuss La Malediccio, yes?
Correct.
I am surprised to see you. My agreement with the gallery specified that my ownership should be kept in the strictest confidence. It would appear that agreement has been broken.
A man has been killed, monsieur.
An agreement is an agreement.
A life has been lost and a painting stolen, monsieur. We need to ask you a few questions.
Bravely put, Miss Collard. So be it. I will cooperate however I can.
How did you come into possession of La Malediccio?
I purchased it at auction.
We have reason to believe that the theft was an inside job.
Oh, that is terrible. The staff at the gallery were so pleasant to deal with, but such is human nature. I trust this won't delay the insurance claim.
I'm sure matters will be sorted out soon. Did you know Henri, the gallery owner?
Oh, purely on a professional basis. My restorer recommended his gallery to me.
Did you ever meet him personally?
No, only via email. I rarely fly. I'm carbon neutral, you know.
Very conscientious, monsieur.
Well, the planet won't save itself.
Do you have receipts for the painting?
Of course. I have already sent them to your office.
These things take time to process.
What is there to process? I own the painting. Someone stole it, and your company provided me with insurance. I am the victim here.
A state you share with the deceased, monsieur. What connection do you have to Vera Security?
I've never heard of it.
There is strong evidence that ties you to Vera Security.
Oh, you are beginning to sound like a policeman, madame.
We are merely doing our jobs, monsieur. We must leave no stone unturned.
I would leave this particular stone unturned, if I were you.
I'd rattled him, but I didn't want to push too hard. Of course. We will check our information again.
I would do that.
Your restorer, how does he fit into all this?
Hobbs. He did a little cleaning work on La Malediccio, that's all. I think that's enough for now. When do you expect the claim to be paid out?
It will not be long, monsieur.
When exactly? Surely you can give me a date.
Monsieur Medowski, I'm sure you...
Please excuse the interruption, sir.
What is it, Shears?
Hobbs is here.
Tell him I'm busy.
He mentioned the portfolio, sir.
For pity's sake, can he not just follow simple instructions? Please excuse me for a moment.
The gardener's called Shears?
Yeah, probably not what his mother christened him.
What a creep.
Very clever creep at that. We got nothing on him, and he knows it.
He just brushed off the Vera connection. We need something else to get under his skin. I could use Marquez as leverage.
Yeah, it's just one man's word against another.
So what else can we do?
Let's take a look around. Maybe there's something here we can use against him.
Good idea, Georges. You search, I'll keep watch at the window.
Medowski had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. I picked up the business card. It read, Wilfred Hobbs, Fine Art Restoration. I made a note of the address. Then I put the card back where I'd found it. No point arousing Medowski's suspicions. A Russian imperial egg. It looked rather plain. I suspected the medals weren't from the Moscow Debating Society. Everything was in Cyrillic, except for a number. 1869. It was a thank you note from a British politician. Medowski certainly had some dubious friends. It seems our Medowski has friends in low places.
It's like my boss said, the guy wants to be a player.
Locked. I could only hope that Medowski hid the key somewhere in the room. It was a Russian privatization voucher. I wondered why Medowski displayed it so proudly. Medowski in Libya. Happy days. What kind of guy hangs a picture of himself and Colonel Gaddafi on the wall?
The kind who will commit murder in order to steal their own painting.
Russian novels. Medowski was clearly a big Tolstoy fan. I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic. I didn't know the symbols. If I'd been able to remember the layout of a US keyboard, I might have been able to figure it out. The catch had snapped. The catch had snapped. It was a beautifully inlaid cigarette box. It was a beautifully inlaid cigarette box. Can you hear what they're saying?
Yes.
You should not have turned up here, Mr. Hobbs. I made it clear I would deliver the package later today.
I wanted to make sure it got to me all right. I've got a lot of work to do on it.
This is most inconvenient.
Medowski's arguing with his visitor, Hobbs, about the portfolio.
That portfolio is important, I'm sure of it. Medowski had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. See a penny, pick it up, then all day you'll have good luck. It was a thank you note from a British politician. Medowski certainly had some dubious friends. Everything was in Cyrillic, except for a number. 1869. By extraordinary good fortune, the coin I'd picked up was the perfect shape to flip open the broken catch. Fancy that. Romanovs. The same brand of cigarettes that were in the ashtray in Vera's security. Keys are always useful. Romanovs. The same brand of cigarettes that were in the ashtray in Vera's security. Medowski had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. I suspected the medals weren't from the Moscow Debating Society. The study door's open now. Hear anything else interesting?
Hang on.
Listen, Hobbs, just take the portfolio and do your work. You are nervous, and I don't like that.
Understood. I have got a few questions, though.
I do not like questions either. Hurry up.
I noticed a couple of people arriving. Who were they? They look like coppers.
They were from the insurance company.
Has the...
Hobbs is going to head off with the portfolio. Whatever's in there is important. We need to stay with it.
I got Hobbs' address from his card. When we're done here, we should check it out.
Okay, Josh, but hurry. Medowski will be back soon.
I'm gonna check out the study.
Okay.
Wow, there must be millions of dollars worth of art on these walls. The drawer was open. My heart skipped a beat. But inside, I saw only a candy bar wrapper. The painting reminded me of my Aunt Maud. I'd never liked her. These paintings would have kept a critic enraptured for hours, but I didn't have time to dwell. The desk was magnificent. I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic. ZX. I needed a keyboard for reference. ZX. I needed a keyboard for reference. I didn't know the symbols. If I'd been able to remember the layout of a US keyboard, I might have been able to figure it out. I tried to remember how that row of keys read on a US keyboard. ZX. I needed a keyboard for reference. I should have guessed. Keyboard. I figured that had to be the space bar. A, S, D, G, or F? Ugh, I couldn't remember. I tried to remember how that... Z, X, Z, A, X... I didn't know the symbols. If I'd been able... Z, X... A, S, D, G, or F? I didn't know. If I'd been able to remember the layout of a US keyboard, I might have been able to figure it out. Medowski had left the cabinet open. On the shelf inside was a business card and a scribbled note. Everything was in Cyrillic, except for an 18... Everything was in Cyrillic. 18... Those two little holes were just waiting for me to put my fingers in. I resisted the urge. The letter mentioned a guy called Medowski as the owner of Vera Security. Nico?
Shh! I'm eavesdropping, Georges.
I should have guessed. Keyboard was Cyrillic. I tried to remember how that row of keys read on a US keyboard. Z, X. I needed a keyboard for reference. Russian novels. Medowski was clearly a big Tolstoy fan. Russian novels. Medowski was clearly a big Tolstoy fan. Leather-bound classics, bought by the yard, no doubt. Large Cyrillic letters were carved into panels on the side of the desk. The lettered panels appeared to conceal buttons. The lettered panels appeared to conceal buttons. A secret drawer popped open. I knew that publication date would be significant. At last, I was going to discover Medowski's secrets. It certainly wasn't Medowski's sock drawer. Hey, Nico! Come see this! I think we've struck gold.
Hang on, I'm coming.
Look, a letter from a guy called Gainin. His company, Wolfram, want to purchase La Medowskiego. They're offering way over the asking price.
Anything connecting Medowski to Vera?
Well, let's see. Here we go. A lease for Vera's security.
Aha! Then we have the proof we need.
Hang on, what's this? Expenses for a Mr. Shears. Waterloo Motors, one helmet. These are from Paris. Madame La Trex. Hotel Britannique. Pizza. Nico. Pizza. I think your friend Shears might just be Henri's killer.
Georges, what have we got ourselves into? I just heard the front door close. Medowski's coming. Put everything back in order, quick!
Right. He'll never suspect we just ransacked his house for evidence.
Georges, the coin!
Damn, no time. Look cool, Nico.
I'll handle this.
I apologize for the lengthy wait. As you can imagine, my time is at a premium.
That's fine, Mr. Medowski. I think we're almost finished anyway.
And payment?
Very soon, monsieur. Very soon.
Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Nice collection of medals you have there, Mr. Medowski.
I earned them serving my country.
Anywhere interesting?
Chechnya. Ever been there?
No, can't say I've had the pleasure. Is that a first edition of War and Peace?
Of course. Printed in 1869. A great year for my country's literature. And Tolstoy is the master.
Is that a picture of you with Colonel Gaddafi?
A deeply wonderful man. He was a great fan of the Impressionists.
Well, he certainly left quite an impression on Libya. So, what brought you into the art business, Mr. Medowski?
Oh, an eye for great artists, an appreciation of fine culture, and a love of what you Americans call the greenback.
You must be upset at the theft of La Medowskiego.
Yes, and disappointed that someone would kill for such a minor piece.
So this Hobbs guy, good friend of yours, is he?
No, we simply have a business arrangement. We've been through this already. Now please, if you're quite finished, I'm a busy man.
Thank you for your time, Monsieur Medowski. We'll be in touch soon.
Well, no prizes for guessing where we go now.
Hobbs' place, right?
Got it in one. Medowski's pretty shady, don't you think?
He bought our act, though. You make a pretty good insurance man, Georges.
Yeah, who'd have thought it?
By the time he realizes we're not assessing his claim, we'll have cracked the case and be toasting our success.
Here's hoping. Looks like rain.
Come on, let's get that cab. Taxi?
I think we just stepped off the London tourist trail.
I guess this Hobbs character doesn't like visitors.
Not the kind of place you'd expect to find a restorer of old masters.
Unless you didn't want to attract attention.
He's attracted ours. Let's see what Mr. Hobbs knows about La Malediccio.
And let's try and get a look inside that portfolio.
I decided to leave the handbrake alone. Not a sound. The horn wasn't working. Slasha! I don't think there's anyone home.
There's a light on upstairs.
It was Hobbs's mailbox. There was a note hanging out. For a second, I debated the morality of mail snooping. It was a short debate, and I won. I decided to open the letter. Dear Mr. Hobbs, due to previous incidents, we are writing to inform you that we will no longer be sending models to your address. It went on to discuss Hobbs's temper and other alleged infractions, some of which still carry the death sentence in certain less sophisticated cultures. Interesting. This could come in useful. The hood was definitely stuck. I decided to leave the handbrake alone. The horn wasn't working. I popped open the van's hood. The engine was held together by rust and dirt. Everything was covered in a sticky film of dirty black oil. Half the wiring wasn't connected to anything. It was clear why the horn hadn't made a noise. Neither hornpipe was connected to either the battery or the cab. It was the van's engine. I didn't really have any reason to sabotage it. It was one of two horns in the van. It didn't seem to be connected to anything else under the hood. Two wires hung loose from it. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. Many of the wires seemed to lead nowhere. bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. The large dumpster was full of garbage. The large dumpster was full of garbage. The large dumpster was full of garbage. Piles of junk, mostly boxes of old paints and scraps of picture frames. Mixed in were wires, cardboard, and some dubious-looking old clothes. George Stobart.
Ah, Monsieur Stobart. I trust you have obeyed my instructions not to leave Paris.
Of course, Inspector.
Good. You clearly know which side your cookie is buttered. Now, I require your presence tomorrow at the murder scene for a reconstruction.
I see.
12 o'clock sharp, monsieur. Or, as you would say, high noon.
Sure.
Any failure to comply, and I shall have you extraordinarily rendered. Have a nice day now.
And you. That was Nave. We're required back at the gallery tomorrow for a crime scene reconstruction.
Let me guess. Non-attendance is a criminal offense?
You got it. I had found just what I needed. 2 lengths of wire. The engine bay was a mess. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. It was the van battery. I needed to hook this up to the horn somehow. It was the van battery. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. The horn wasn't working. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. That was almost a great idea. Almost. It was the van's engine. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. It was the van battery. A loose wire hung from the horn. If I had some spare cable, I could connect it to the other horn. A loose wire hung from the horn. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. A loose wire hung from the horn. It was the old piece of wire that I'd found in the junk pile. It was the old piece of wire that I'd found in the junk pile. Never in a month of Sundays. It was the van battery. It was the van's engine. It was the van's engine. A loose wire hung from the left-hand horn. If I had some spare cable, I could connect it to the wires from the cab. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. It was the van's engine. It was one of two horns in the van. It didn't seem to be connected to anything else under the hood. Two wires hung loose from it. It was the van's engine. It was the van's engine. A A loose wire hung from the left-hand horn. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. A bundle of wires came into the engine bay from the dashboard. It was the van's engine. The horn wasn't working. I snipped the wire in half. I connected the wires from the cab to the horn. The wire was just long enough to connect the battery to the horn. Everything was wired up. The horn had power. I figured that should get Hobbs's attention.
All right, hold your blooming horses. What are you up to with my van?
Hello there. We fixed your horn.
So I hear. Now what are you doing in my yard?
Sorry to bother you again, Mr. Hobbs, but... Well, that could have gone better.
He's not exactly the friendliest of characters.
I decided to give it another blast.
For crying out loud, will you leave my van alone?
Sorry, just need a quick word, Mr. Hobbs. Afternoon, Mr. Hobbs. We're from the model agency.
About blooming time. I'm on a deadline. You better come up. About time you two showed up.
Hello, Mr. Hobbs. I was just wondering if...
Can it, Goldilocks? I don't have time for chit-chat. Just get undressed behind that screen.
Undressed?
That was the deal. An extra 20 quid because I need you with your kit off.
The studio was freezing.
And as for you, darling, no need to get undressed. I've got a vivid imagination, so I'll just use that. Either way, just go sit over there on that rug and give me your best Belle Epoque floozy. That's perfect. Just hold it there.
Nico made for a good distraction. I just needed to figure out how to get a look inside that portfolio.
Oh, you! Get down from there, it's private.
Oh, sorry. How about a top-up, Mr. Hobbs?
Thanks, but I've already got a glassful. Hi, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to take a look at some of your pictures. You're very good.
I know, and that portfolio is private. I'm not paying you to gawp around my studio. Get your blooming clothes off!
Sorry. Excuse me, Mr. Hobbs.
Oh, what do you want? You're supposed to be sprawled naked on that rug with the family jewels out.
Yeah, well, about that. Could I just ask you a couple of questions first?
Blow me. A model who's shy and chatty. It must be my birthday.
I hear you did the restoration of that painting that got stolen recently in Paris?
I might have. It's a fine piece. You can smell the pain in every brushstroke.
Do you know a Russian called Medowski?
You know Medowski?
Everyone in the London art scene knows Medowski.
And everyone in the London art scene who likes their kneecaps knows when to keep their trap shut.
Wow, an old Bofson Wang stereo. I hadn't seen one of those for years. I turned the volume up a few notches. I turned the volume down. I turned the volume up a few notches.
On the road, cruising down a highway, so sweet, she got my head in a spin. Listen, babe, do you think you're going my way? Stop the car, I wanna get in.
My, if it isn't George Stobart.
Lady Piermont. Oh, my. You're...
Naked? Of course. As an artist's muse, one often finds oneself en pelotas. Now, George, don't be shy. Come here and give me a big hug.
That day was the day the nightmares had begun. Trapped, smothered, choking on lavender.
George, darling, pass me my robe. It's terribly cold in here.
Oi, what are you doing with a blooming robe on? God help me, but you're supposed to be naked. I've got a deadline to meet.
Well, you won't be meeting any deadlines with manners like that. And besides, it's freezing in here.
Lady Piermont and I had met before. She was larger than life, in every way. How about another whiskey?
Oh, If I do.
Lady Piermont.
Oh, George, be a darling and sort the heating out in here.
I'll see what I can do.
George, sweetheart.
Hey! Leave that dial alone. Sorry, but Lady Piermont is cold. I thought...
Look, pal, I know it's brass monkeys in here, but the wiring in this building is ancient, and the fuse box won't take it. Her Majesty will just have to get used to chapel hat pegs.
Lady Piermont, Mr. Hobbs won't let me turn up the heating.
Well, we'll soon see about that.
Oh, crumbs.
If you do not adjust the heating, I shall refuse to cooperate.
Lady Piermont, it's the circuits. They won't take the strain. You know what old buildings are like.
In which case, I see no reason for this session to continue.
Whoa, Lady Piermont, let's not be too hasty. I'm sure I can accommodate your needs.
Good. Perhaps you can start by letting George here turn up the heating.
Oh, go ahead then, but be careful. The power in here is temperamental.
I'd turned the thermostat up as far as it would go. I wondered if the suspicious wiring could be used to my advantage. A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George, I'm all ears. How can I help?
Can you keep a secret, Lady Piermont?
I am the very soul of discretion, as you know.
You see that portfolio by Hobbs's table? We'll have to take a peek inside.
Be still, my beating heart. Just give me the nod and I'm putting in your hands.
So what have you been up to since our last encounter, Lady Piermont?
Charity work, dear boy.
Oh, any particular kind?
Young men, George. So many have lost their way. I try to guide them best I can.
That's all for now.
Oh, you! Get down from there. You'll trip the power in the whole building if you're not careful.
Blowing the power would certainly have distracted Hobbs, but the elevator alone wasn't going to trip the whole system. A word, if I may, Lady Piermont.
For you, George, I'm all ears. How can I help?
Lady Piermont, we need your help.
How thrilling! What do you need? Subterfuge? Legerdemain?
Actually, I just need you to step onto that lift behind you.
Oh, but of course. Is this good, George, darling?
Perfect. Now,
just stay right there.
Now was my chance. It was one of Hobbs' sketches. Well, it wasn't the Medowskiego, but it did appear to be a study for an element of the painting, the Ouroboros. There was something different about the image in the center. I figured the sketch might come in handy, so I took it.
What the heck are you doing with those? They're private papers.
Huh?
Well, that was fun. Just like when you were a private dick, George.
So, you're not models?
No, Mr. Hobbs.
Well, you can't be a copper. You're not stupid enough. So what the blazes are you doing in my studio?
We're investigating the theft of La Medowskiego.
I told you I just restored it. That's what I do. Restore paintings.
And these sketches?
Studies done during the restoration. Nothing more. I've got naught to do with what happened after that painting left this studio. How was I to know it was going to get Henri killed?
Hang on a second. How do you know Henri's dead?
Look, he and I went back a long way. Le Lézard Bleu was on the ropes, so I got the painting into his exhibition. Nothing like this was supposed to happen.
But something did happen, Hobbs. Your friend lost his life.
Look, I'll help you however I can, but this mess is way above my pay grade. What do you want to know?
How come you needed to make so many sketches of the painting to restore it?
Restoration's not about throwing a load of paint around. It takes research. The surf is a complicated painting. A lot of subtext. A lot of symbols.
Why would anyone want to steal La Medowskiego? It's not exactly a famous painting.
True, but there is something special about it that's hard to describe. There's conviction in every brushstroke. Whoever El Serp was, he had a tale to tell. The symbolism is deeply religious.
We have reason to believe that Medowski is mixed up in the theft of La Medowskiego.
Eh? What would he gain from stealing his own painting?
We have strong evidence that Medowski is not the real owner.
You'll have a hard time proving that. Medowski has a full set of provenances for the painting. It traces its legitimate ownership all the way back to the painter.
And why didn't Medowski mention it?
Because they're not with him. Henri's got them. Or had them.
And Henri is dead.
So ask his partner.
Lane?
Lane, yeah, Lane. Look, pal, you're wasting your time looking for conspiracies here. And you're wasting my time if you're not actually going to get naked. Go get the provenance from Lane, and everything will turn out hunky-dory.
But it also puts Marquez's story into question.
Not my problem, darling. Now both of you, get lost. I've got a painting to finish.
And we have a critic to interrogate.
Someone's lying, but who?
Is it the gangster or the old Spaniard?
The painter or the art critic?
I need to head back for Nave's reconstruction.
What about the evidence from Medowski's house? Will you give it to Nave?
I think I should. And I can put the squeeze on Lane. Ask him about the provenance.
Good. I've got lunch with Ronnie tomorrow. This story is hotting up, and I want to make sure he keeps me on it.
Taxi?
Here I was again at the crime scene. Inside the gallery, I could see lots of activity. Nave preparing for the reconstruction, no doubt.